Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It is 2018. We are here in 2018? That doesn't sound right. Does that sound right to anybody else? Of course it doesn't, because it is Sunday night from 7 to 9 Eastern, and this is 1933. This is Project Athena. This is Chaosium's Pulp Cthulhu. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back for our first one of the 2018/1933 year, and we have got some good stuff in store for you. Well, good stuff in store for you all that are watching. Fun stuff in store for everybody else you see around me? We'll go with that. Lindy, thanks for the host. We'll cross the streams. Okay, so here's what we want to do. I have a lot to get through. We've got some story we want to get through. Anybody that's watched the bonus episodes that are available on Twitch tomorrow and Tuesday on YouTube, you will be able to know that there's been a lot of things that have happened since episode 6 to episode 7. A ton of stuff. We will see. But what I want to do is, first of all, let's start with the cast and crew. And as is our karmic loop that we are stuck in, Allison, how are you doing? And will Kate survive another day in 1933?
Hey, everybody. It is Allison. And please tell me you can hear me. Tell me we left that bug behind in 2017. Yes. It is 1933, and I am playing Caitlin Jane O'Callahan, aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart, who is back from Bolivia and back from a really sort of weird set of encounters with Jack and Sabella, and with a new role and a new mission, and let's do this thing.
Let's do this thing. That's the 2018-1933 motto right there. Let's do this thing. Okay, fantastic. Rem, thanks for the follow, my brother. And let's slide right on over to our other redhead, our resident librarian, who is out of her league and just doesn't really have the tools to face this crazy world. She's also psychic. Lauren, Sabella, is she going to survive another night in 1933?
Oh, we're going to be just fine, Mr. Keeper, sir. Yep, I'm Lauren. I play Sabella Marie Ives, owner of Ives Esoteric and Antiquarian Bookstore on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, where we all stay together because we're such good friends after our exploits. And I'm very, very, very excited for the madness that is about to ensue.
Excelente. We'll see exactly how much madness we see this evening. I can guarantee some for the potential of a lot. Speaking of madness, let's go to Steve. Steve, Dwight Burke, our soldier of fortune, had a go of it last night in the bonus episode with you and Greta. But how does he feel about tonight? And is this his last night in 1933?
Hey, how's everybody doing? You know my answer is that's going to be, of course not. He's going to last for a long time in 1933. Hopefully make it to 1934 and such and such. But yeah, I had a blast last night, and looking forward. I love the title of the episode today. I was definitely curious on which way we were going, and I'm really enjoying how this new chapter is going to play out.
Excellent. We'll check back with you at the end of the episode to see just how psyched you are about that title. But let's go back up to somebody who's always psyched to do anything, no matter what his name is or his personality du jour. Strider, Elijah, 1933, last day?
This is definitely not Elijah Sawyer's last day, for Elijah Sawyer has a secret weapon. A secret weapon not known to his friends or even to his employer, Jack. So, new year, new game. Gonna have a great time. I'm hyped up for it.
Excelente.
Cautiously optimistic.
I love it. You should be. It's Cthulhu. Kiana, thank you very much for the host. And last but certainly not least, the latest addition to the Olympian team, defecting straight to you from the halls of Berlin, is one Dr. Greta von Kraus. Dr. Greta? Lindy? 1933? Last day? Night?
Last day, that's preposterous. I have too much work to do for this to be my last day. So much science to be achieved, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, super psyched. 1933 is probably my favorite year right now. Just saying. Love it. And yeah, I cannot wait for, well, I can't wait for what's going to happen tonight. Greta most certainly is a bit peeved after the events of last night's mini episode, and she can probably most definitely wants to wait and just get some stuff done.
Nice, nice. It seems like there might be a little underlying tension. I'm picking up a little bit of negative vibes. We'll see how that plays out and we'll see who they're directed towards. I have a guess, but I'm not going to spoil the well at all. Before we get into that, I would like to tell you all how you can interact to help out the Olympians you see before you. If we reach a follower tier of 3 people, which we're already 2 there, on the 3rd, chat will be able to determine which one of the Olympians you see before you is awarded a crit success. Also, if we get 20 retweets on Allison's tweet, we will also have the same thing, another critical success for an Olympian, and every subscriber automatically gets a critical success for Olympian, and they get a monthly 2 crit award for whatever Olympian or combination of Olympians they would like. There's also a lot of other stuff down there, but I have too much stuff to get to, so I don't want to get bogged down. The recap as we know it is as follows, and this is the layman's version of it because everybody should be versed. This is Pulp Cthulhu, Project Athena, Bolivia, snakes, Nazis, uncovered a temple, Dr. Greta? The Tyrannish. What is that? Item? Not sure. I don't like you. You're going the wrong way. I think we should have conflict. Then it goes down and we say, oh, there's the temple inside. Giant snake, Dwight swallowed. Tyrannish? There's a staff. There's some books. There's some scrolls. Naked woman. End scene. And that was our last episode, which you can check on YouTube if you would like a slightly more detailed version of. But no, in without jest, they went on a quest in Bolivia. There was some inter-team conflict. There were several weird circumstances, some Nazi intervention, the arrival of Dr. Greta von Krauss, to much fanfare and fanfics, if several people were to be believed on Twitter. And also we have the recovery of the Tyrannish, which we knew or found out previously was Hitler's obsession. It was spoken of as potentially a item of some kind, but it turned out to be a young, early, mid-20s woman who was asleep inside a temple in the middle of Bolivia, buried underground.
If I had a nickel.
Right. You'd have a nickel. Now, I had several questions on Twitter and various sources about how experience points are awarded in Cthulhu. And I briefly wanted to go over this because it is an important thing, because in Cthulhu, Pulp Cthulhu or straight Cthulhu, it is very, very difficult to stay alive. So you want to make sure that you're giving your characters and your players every opportunity to have every advantage that's awarded to them for successes, and to know exactly what they could have done better to potentially gain more experience or more seasoning, as is the Pulp Cthulhu terminology. So I would like now for all of my players to listen up, because of the following things, here are the things that you could have received experience for. They have already been awarded 20 percentage points to apply to any of their disciplines that they feel require augmentation. But if you had freed the villagers of the village that was under Nazi occupation, you would have received 10 additional points. You left the village under Nazi control, so I hate to tell you that is a 2 sanity point loss, as it weighs on your mind that these poor villagers are under the sway and the yoke of the Nazi regime. Now, you did, however, best a very, very large snake, one that Dwight Burke has intimate knowledge of. that will get you back those 2 sanity points, so you're now currently at 0. In addition to that, because of the inner conflict that rocked the party, as there were different combinations of he said, she didn't, he didn't, I am awarding 2 additional sanity points just because that was dope. So you guys walk out of that with 2 sanity points plus your 20 experience points. So how does this play out for anybody that's watching and going, what the hell did he just do? The best thing to do is take the bullet points, the cliffhangers of the episode that you are dealing with Cthulhu, whether it be a large monster, a puzzle, a social interaction, and depending upon the severity of the failure or the greatest of successes, you know, the level of success, award a D6, D8, or D10 of either sanity, luck if it pertains to that, or if you want to give straight percentage points to a particular discipline, that's a good time to do it. It's much more organic, I think, than D&D, where it's just a straight, you get better. This is, you get better at something that you did better. And I think that's an interesting aspect of Cthulhu as opposed to D&D. Now, that I've finally gone through all of my spiel, I would like to briefly recap the bonus episodes that we had over the past 2 nights. Kate and Lauren, you guys had a bonus episode on Friday night involving Kate called Kate's Crossroads. If you guys could give me a spiel in 120 seconds or less, rock away.
Yeah, so Kate was preparing to fly off into the sunset on her own. She'd had enough of this when Jack showed up and tried to talk her into sticking around. When talking didn't work, there was a knock on the side of the Ugly Duckling, and who showed up but Miss Sabella Ives, who in some incredible role playing. Sabella, take it from there.
Yes, that is what
Incredible.
happened. I didn't want my closest new friend to leave me, and Jack offered a bit of insight because we had both been a bit suspicious about him. Through my unique abilities, I was able to delve into his mind and know more about him and come out on the other side trusting him and wanting to help him and what this whole project is after. So we all together took a trip up to Harlem, where he claimed he had found a new Olympian before the Nazis had. But when we got there, the apartment had been ransacked of little Miss Ruby Foster and her family. But fortunately, because of Kate's renown, Kate met a new friend over there who helped us. Back to you, Kate.
And we discovered that the Nazis who had been looking for the little girl and her family were still on the roof. We ran up and captured one of them, who was, in fact, the waitress from the Akron, and even left a taunting, sassy sort of little note for Herr Dietrich in the ride pod when it landed to pick her up. Oh, and one other thing. Jack asked Kate if she would be the new leader of the Olympians. So that happened.
That's a thing. Oh, and we got a little silver disc that they used to control people. And oh boy, were they upset. Good times.
Good times.
That is a very cheery and optimistic view of what went down. And it's about 90% accurate, which I applaud you all for. Last night, we had a episode featuring a team up between Greta and Dwight. Greta and Dwight, give us a synopsis in 120 seconds or less. And also, we have reached 3 followers for the night already, which is dope. And so anybody in chat who is not an Olympian, I would like you to vote for an Olympian, the majority of whom will receive a critical success via chat.
All right, quick recap. I was asked to recap out of the 2 of us. So quick recap from Greta's notes is... arrived in America, got to odd bookstore, immediately sent out to do another mission, no debriefing from Jack, no introductions, very unprofessional.
She's right.
Was given 20 cents for terrible American food. Discussed things with crossed out hair, Dwight, first name basis, somewhat awkward, it's fine. Went to Alibi Warehouse. Went inside to see the Akron. Not interested in that. Oh boy, 32 corpses. my lucky day. Investigated brain-scooping Nazis 1 and 2 first. Found out that their organs were rearranged in fascinating ways, along with a very long page full of notes detailing how these organs were rearranged. Also found an early prototype of my hyposyringe on one of these guys, manufactured from the same metal shop in Munich. Very peeved about that. Stuck it in my purse. Heard something by the door. Sent Dwight to investigate, because that's his job. Meanwhile, I dissected a very interesting third Nazi while hiding under a tarp on a gurney. Found out his brain looked like it had a lot of potential, so I took his head, and we escaped just as a man on fire who wasn't burning. Very interesting. We'll need notes on that later. Chased us out, drove like it was the Autobahn, and we got away.
I drank a lot.
And Dwight drank a lot.
That is perfect. That is exactly what happened last night. Plus, we had a power outage towards the very end of the episode, which had nothing to do in 1933, but 2018 sure sucked it for a second. Anywho, we see so far that we have Kate and Sabella. So in chat, if you guys want to decide between those two, put a VD in front of it and let me know who is going to get the critical success for the follower goal, and I will award it accordingly. Until such time, let me double check up here as I see that you guys are talking. Okay. Here's what to set all this up. You all have returned from Bolivia. Kate spent the night in the Ugly Duckling. That is the same night that Greta and Dwight had their encounter at the warehouse at Battery Park. The following day, Kate and Sabella and Jack went to 116th Street in Harlem to find one Ruby Foster, where they in fact had a altercation with a Nazi and 3 potential slaves by the Nazis. Oh, we lost somebody. Did we lose somebody? Why'd my cameras go wonky for a second? Okay, never mind. So anywho, whenever they got there and they were able to wrest control of the situation away from the Nazi, Jack was able to kind of stabilize the area. They took the Nazi woman back to the antiquarian bookstore. It is later that day, which would be March, I believe we determined 14th, the evening of the 14th. Everyone is at the antiquarian bookstore, and at this very moment, Jack, Sabella, and Kate are walking in the front door. Greta and Dwight are already in the bookstore. Elijah's whereabouts are unknown. Let us begin.
That's a good thing, because Greta had a few choice words for that man.
Sabella has herself in the middle of Jack and Kate and has got her arms linked with theirs. She is very perky right now, and she has not stopped blabbing the whole ride back down from Harlem.
Would the bookstore this is where Sabella lives too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yep.
So would I be correct in assuming that there's an ice box somewhere in this bookstore? Okay.
Yeah.
Greta's by the ice box. If you know when you find her.
Oh.
Don't look in the icebox.
Hey y'all.
What's in the box?
We just had a grand old time. What's going on?
Greg, did you also say that the Nazi woman that we captured is what? Can you say again what happened to her?
She is currently in the back of a wagon and left outside, but she is en route to. We can RP this. Jack is sending everybody. At this point, there's too much stuff going on at the bookstore. He is sending the woman, as he sent the Tyrannish, to the Meadham building, which is the HQ of Caduceus, the philanthropic organization that is allied with President Roosevelt. And that's downtown in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As we come through the door, then Kate sort of has been not all that enthusiastic, not in the same way Sabella has. And as they come through the door, Kate kind of disentangles herself from the group and excuses herself. I need to go freshen up for a moment. If y'all don't mind, I'll be back in just a moment. And she heads to the upstairs to the bathroom.
This is so strange sometimes seeing all of y'all in here. It used to be just me and Grandpa, but I mean, I must say it's much cheerier now. What have y'all been up to here?
Greta turns around and you see that there's a bowl of ice that's fine, and then you see like a partially opened head just like in the rest of the ice box, and she's like holding a scalpel and like some tweezers. Our evening could have gone better.
Did you put some like something down? Some
Of course, I did. Yeah,
Is Jack in the room as well?
It's unsanitary to get blood everywhere.
Yes, it's also very messy. Frozen smile.
Is Jack in the room? Gage?
Yeah, yes, Jack is. Do you guys see the messed up cameras on Twitch, or is that just me?
I think it's just you.
It's just me. Okay. Love my setup, everybody. I would put it down below in Twitch. It's what I'm streaming, but I don't want to put everybody else through that. Yes, Jack is there, everyone.
Dwight says, it's not that I don't like your bookstore, Miss Oz, but Jack, I think we need a new HQ at some point here.
If we remain here, it might get burned down.
What? Dr. Von Kraus, what was that? Why would it get burned down?
There was a man who set himself on fire and burned down the warehouse holding the Akron. And there are lovely 29 corpses that I was not able to get to tonight. He threatened your bookstore because he's after a hair Sawyer.
Continued weird shit is what's happened. And now they know where we're at, and the people who are looking for Sawyer. And so we've been compromised, probably by Nazis, but also by gangsters or whoever he's dealing with.
Why would they want to burn down a bookstore, though? That seems like...
He seems to have a form of self-inflicted pyromania.
Well, we've associated with him, and we're harboring him.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Sawyer would be happy to take up residence in a hotel. There are many fine ones nearby. If that's the case, I'm sure, Jack, I'm sure you can arrange that and arrange for his protection, because I don't know if I want my bookstore to catch on fire, y'all. I don't know about that.
None of us want that. Messiah.
Tragic for all our lives.
At this point, Kate comes back into the room where everyone else is. As she's come down from upstairs, she's carrying her flight bag, the one that you saw her take upstairs when she first arrived. And she begins to hear the conversation and says, Miss Ives, I think Jack mentioned that his men are protecting the bookstore. I wouldn't be too concerned about that if I were you. Now, she looks around. Has anybody seen Mr. Sawyer? Where has he gotten off to?
9. I had some choice words for him, but I have not seen him.
I was there for a while when we came back, right, Greg? Before heading to the airstrip?
Yeah, you were there for several hours until probably about 1 or 2 in the morning before you guys headed out towards the airstrip on the far end of Staten Island. So it was Elijah has been MIA since the end of Bolivia. He came back to the library, but he has not been there. At this point also, Jack comes up beside Kate, and the rest of you would really need to roll a listen check to hear this, but he leans close into Kate and he kind of looks side-eye at her as he whispers in her ear, and he says, "Ruby, don't know how much time we got."
Hard success.
You heard that.
Similarly, in a similarly sort of low voice, well, we're a man down.
I failed on that one.
Okay. He, instead of answering, Jack looks at Kate. And he just nods. And steps back and leans up against the wall.
Kate takes a deep breath and then steps out a little bit into the middle of the room. She says, y'all, we need to fill you in a little bit on what we've just experienced, and shares briefly with the group sort of the synopsis of just the part that had to do with Ruby Foster and our attempt to bring her in.
Right, the bullet points of which are Ruby Foster is a believed Olympian with the ability to heal, the potential to be an immortal. You guys went there to extract her to a safe location. The Nazis had beat you there, tossed the room, and Ruby was said to have disappeared a day ago with her family from her neighbor, Syl Jefferson.
Yes. Now, look, I don't have to tell you that that this little girl needs saving. But I want to remind you also that this is about more than just saving a little girl's life. This is about securing an asset for the security of this country and depriving our enemy of the same asset. We know that they are after Ruby, and it is vitally important that we find her first. Now, in Mr. Burke's absence, or rather, I'm sorry, in Mr. Sawyer's absence, we are a man down, but we don't have time to wait for him to show up. So we need to find Miss Ruby Foster and make sure that she is secure. We have just the one lead, really, and that's my new friend Syl over there in apartment 3A. But I am more than willing to hear your ideas and suggestions about how we might best use the resources at our disposal to find Ruby. What do you think?
I have a few ideas.
Miss Ives, that'd be lovely, please.
Right. So for me in particular, it might be a good idea to go back and handle some more of Ruby's personal effects or even her parents. Now, I think Syl said you told me that Ruby's daddy's a reverend, so maybe someone from the church might know something. If Mr. Sawyer were here, I would say that'd be perfect for him to go and chat some people up, but we might have to do it. Those are my ideas.
Miss Ives, I think I would offer this to us all. I think at this point, we need to make our plans without Mr. Sawyer.
All right. Well, someone else who's good at talking can chat up the good church folks up there. I don't think it'd be hard. I mean, when it gets light, I'm sure some people will be around whatever church he's a part of. And if we get back there, maybe I can find out something through my own very normal way of deduction.
Well, we'll get you back there then.
Do we believe the girl's been taken?
No.
She's with her family.
Yes.
Yeah, the word that we had was that her family left about a day before the Nazis arrived looking for them. Exactly where, we don't know, but we were a little bit busy to ask a whole lot of questions. Now, Doctor, did you want to offer something?
9.
Oh.
You seem to have the situation well in hand.
Well, then.
I don't know what information I could contribute to a missing persons case.
Well, I'm sure we'll figure it out along the way.
You're real smart.
Thank you, Fraulein Ives.
And I have to imagine that if we were able to secure young Miss Foster, that there might be some very interesting things to learn from examining her.
Of course.
With her consent.
Of course.
There's interesting things you can learn about anyone.
Huh.
Mr. Burke, what do you think?
I think that you guys are on the right track. I think we need to talk to people that know them, maybe where they would go, safe places. safe. The church. I think besides, you're definitely a very personable person,
Thank you.
and I think you would probably be the choice. I would vote for.
I
to,
would not
speak with them.
recommend myself to speak with people.
No. I mean,
Nor
with
am I
us,
either.
yes. I like you very much, but I think maybe in general, in the political climate.
We should.
Sure.
I think Mr. Callahan's right. We need to follow the leads.
Well,
There's
all right.
a little jingle on the bell into the bookstore as Mr. Sawyer walks in with a big smile on his face that kind of drops when he sees you guys.
Well, 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 look who it is. Mr. Sawyer, welcome.
I see the sniper's fire has not taken the fire out of our Miss O'Callahan.
You arrive at the perfect moment. We are just about to depart on a mission of some importance, but I wonder if perhaps you're feeling up to it. You've been out, drinking, carousing since we landed from Bolivia?
I like to keep my mind as clear as possible, Miss O'Callahan.
Where you been, Elijah?
Dealing with some business and sampling some of the great fare on the east coast of our great nation.
Mr. Sawyer, I think that we may have a problem. You're being chased by some, I don't even know how to put it, people.
On fire.
And these people know where we are. And this is something that is a definite concern, because a man on fire who can take about 1,000 bullets is looking for you.
Yes.
He threatened to
And
burn
we're
down
the-
my bookstore, Mr. Sawyer.
He incinerated 29 untouched corpses.
And at one point last night, I thought about turning him over to you. That's for sure. But we are here to protect you. But you may be somewhat of a liability.
He turns to Jack and, oh, is that true? I met that man the same exact day I met our buddy here. I gave him the old 1-2 myself, but as I'm sure you have seen, he should best be avoided.
He's on fire. He's not. You should definitely avoid it.
Fire und he knows where we are.
At this point, as everyone's talking over one another, Kate kind of puts a couple of fingers up to her lips and whistles loudly enough that it hurts everyone's ears. Little trick she learned from her daddy, who's a rancher. And says,
God damn.
now, I am sure that this is a fascinating story. Nevertheless, we are on our way. We have to go immediately to begin tracking down Miss Ruby Foster. If we don't leave now, the trail may go cold. And as you know, with a quick glance to Jack, the Nazis seem always to be one step ahead of us in this endeavor. Mr. Sawyer, we can brief you along the way. Jack, I'm assuming that there are cars that we can use.
Yes, there are. I'm assuming the Studebaker made it back.
About that.
What about that?
It's gone.
Here are the keys. It is somewhere on Fiss und Elm.
What? At this point, a guy comes up and hands Jack a note, and as he begins reading it, you realize that it's a notification that the warehouse in Battery Park has burned to the goddamn ground.
Mm-hmm.
And as his eyes get wider and wider, he just folds it and hands it to Kate. And goes back against the wall and leans there and readjusts his hat as he stares at her with an expression that isn't so much, well, here you go, as, well, here we are.
Kate opens it up and looks at it for the briefest of moments. And then up at Dwight and Greta.
Would Jack would have to brief Kate about what we were going to do, I'm assuming, correct?
At this point, he had not had a chance to tell Kate or Sabella what you and Greta had been doing, or what Dwight and Greta had been doing.
So they're so confused as to why I'm just like dissecting a head in the icebox.
Still confused about it.
That would be confusing.
Yeah, Jack spends a moment and tells everybody in the room, including Mr. Sawyer, that Greta and Dwight were sent to the wreckage that was being collected of the USS Akron, the bodies that were being, drug from the Atlantic Ocean at the warehouse down at Battery Park, where they were to observe everything and investigate and find anything that might be a hint, a bit of information, something that could get them a step ahead of the Nazis, get them some type of leg up. It was at that time that they were confronted by the Burning Man, no relation to the festival, and things went a bit south, and the Studebaker that was aforementioned was lost in the following congestion of traffic, presumably to the fate of some tow truck somewhere.
Well, it sounds like y'all did the absolute best that you could, and you're here, and you've got a head, and it is not dripping on my floor, so I would call that a success.
I made sure it did not make a mess. I think that would offend you.
At this point, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Dwight pulls out the photos and the ID he found and hands them to Kate as well.
What are these, Mr. Burke?
This was an ID on a woman that was in there, and there's a picture of her and Dietrich and aerial shots of New York. And this is her eye. This might be a lead at some point where we could look into on how maybe the Nazis know what we're doing.
Kate hands them to Jack without looking at them in much detail. It also appears as though the New York Fire Department has managed to keep your handiwork from burning down the entire warehouse district. That's fortunate. All right, we'll deal with the rest of this later. Jack, I assume that we will find you here.
I'm wherever you need me to be, boss.
Well, then, why don't you look into those photographs and see what you can find out about what Miss Abbott?
It appears to be. He's looking at the ID, Bernice Abbott. Yep.
All right. Well, let us know what you find out. We'll do the same. We're off to Harlem.
Yeah, Greta's like packing up the head in the icebox. She's like, please make sure no one touches this. I am not finished. You will have a full written report after I am done.
Kate, you received a promotion.
Yeah, Dwight was probably a little taken back by that too when he heard boss. He kind of looks over at Jack.
Jack, the only comment Jack offers is to Dr. Greta von Krause as he kind of walks past her and muttering to himself and maybe sharing it with the doctor. He goes, now, who in the hell is going to touch a head in an icebox? I'm pretty sure it'll be all right, as he just kind of crosses into the back of the library.
Elijah's eyes look up at Kate and studies her for a second, just gives her a curt nod and claps his hands slowly and sarcastically. Oh, Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. And he turns his back and starts walking out of the bookshop so you guys can head to Harlem. Rise up, for you the flag is flung.
I run after Jack if he's going to the back.
He's
Dwight kind of pauses and like puts his zipper up and says, Miss Callahan, you're a great choice to be a leader, but there's some things that we need to discuss. There's a few points I have in reservations. So, but we can do that for a later date.
Mr. Burke, there are certainly some things that we need to discuss, and we will certainly do that at a later date.
And Dwight kind of just nods and walks out.
Sabella, you do catch up to Jack.
Okay. Did you just walk back here to brood, Jack? You're just
No.
in the back of the stacks. What are you doing?
I was going to get some coffee and
Oh,
put these pictures out on a table, Miss Ives, and maybe look at them as I was asked to do.
I was just checking on you.
Picture looking. Because you know better than everybody else that my best attribute is picture looking. And for a moment, you see those fields in Eastern Europe, Western Europe.
Mm-hmm. Jack, well, if you want a fresh pot, you are welcome to go upstairs and brew one. But I did have a question for you before we all split up about the things we found in Bolivia, because some of those looked real fun and maybe might be up my area more so than your area. And I was just wondering what became of those and if I might get a chance at a later date to examine them. Because some of them were singing to me.
Right. Everything that was brought back was brought back and established by, categorized and put away in the Caduceus building. You're welcome to them. They're all down there with the Tyrannish.
What are y'all doing with her?
She's still sleeping.
That is fascinating. All right. Well, that's all. Just coffee upstairs, and if you want something calmer, there's some herbal teas. Maybe don't stay in here by yourself too long, and get the look on your face that is on there right now that I'm gonna go catch up with everyone. There's a blanket upstairs too if you want it. If it gets chilly sometimes at night. Bye, Jack.
Miss Ives, let's go.
Running away. Yep.
Okay. I think the cameras have, in fact, actually goofed up.
Now they have.
Yeah.
Oh, now they have. They
I
didn't look
knew
like
I
that
saw
earlier.
Okay, you guys go right ahead. I'll get everybody.
That's
Wait,
why I
I need
don't
to-
watch Twitch, though. I can see all you.
All right. So, yes, Sabella will go catch up with everyone outside.
Do I need to tell you what bioserums I bring?
Yeah, you need to tell me which ones you want to reload
All right.
or...
Yeah, well, people, namely Herr Sawyer and Veit, really like that Blitzschnell, so I'm gonna bring another one of that.
That's good stuff.
This also gives me, some good long-term effect studies on people, so this is great. I will bring another, the Albatrom, because we haven't used that one yet. We'll also bring Aufgeschlossen and a Heilkrafter.
Very good. Don't say what those are until we actually use them.
Okay.
And we will. Okay. I think I got this almost taken care of. Thank you, OBS, for being awesome, as always.
All right. So the plan is to head back to Ruby Foster's apartment, talk to Syl, find out which church the Reverend's part of. Maybe Mr. Sawyer will go there and we'll take a look around the room. That's the plan, right, guys?
That is the plan.
Cool.
And we do have, Greg, we've got some of Jack's boys that are driving us over there, or at least we've got cars or something.
Yeah. Jack's guys will drive you right on over there. And you guys kind of have to crunch in a little bit into two cars because the Studebaker, which could have carried you all, is absent at this point. But you guys are able to drive over there. Is it just when I open my chat window? Oh, that's a great point. Oh, you're right. Summer, thank you. You saved me, Summer.
Just leave it open then, and you won't have to rearrange
That's exactly what it is. Hey, pro streamer, everybody.
Woo,
A round of
Hashtag.
applause in chat for Summer for figuring that out, because honest to God, it would have taken me about 6 months. Why is this always doing this whenever I'm trying to chat?
I just took the dead look of panic in your eye as being Jack, so it worked out.
Okay, good, right?
That's
'cause,
awesome.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. So no, you guys are able to go over there. And what was the question? Yes, Summer. What was the question that you guys asked me before I had that amazing revelation?
No, we're just going.
Okay, so
think we
as you
are.
guys go over to 116th Street, you are, the two of you, Sabella and Kate, are able to see the building again as you did at the corner there of St. Nicholas Avenue, 7th Avenue, and 116th Street in Harlem. Everyone else, as you walk in, once again, as I described it the other night, this is Harlem in its renaissance, at what many would believe to be its poetic and prose apex as music and literature are pouring forth from this particular area of New York City in amazing and varied quantities that unlike other kind of movements of this nature, of the specialized neighborhood movements, this has stood the test of time as being truly something that was revolutionary. And it's noticed in almost every atom of the place. It is a testament to the spirit, a testament to the very poetry of life. And in this place that you guys enter into the apartment, you're able to go up, and the room in 3B, the Foster's apartment, has been secured, but it is very much in the same way that you left it. Things are still spread out. Certain things have been, the cushions have been put back on the couch, the chairs have been righted. Syl Jefferson is currently being questioned by one of Jack's men.
Mm-hmm. As we are, am I?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm good. As we're pulling up, I kind of lean back, and now, Miss Ives, I think that you would be of most use back in the apartment. See what you can find out about Miss Foster or her family. We're specifically looking for ideas about their whereabouts. Syl said she didn't know. And Dr. Von Krause, why don't you accompany Miss Ives, unless you've got a better idea of how you might apply your unique skills to this problem. I'm interested to see what you might find there in their apartment as well.
Certainly. I will start with the medicine cabinet. You can learn a lot about the people by what medications they have.
That's a fascinating insight. I'd never considered that before. Mr. Burke, why don't you come with me? We'll have a conversation with my friend Syl Jefferson. And Mr. Sawyer, why don't you provide a backup for Miss Ives and Dr. Von Krause? Anything that they need, make sure that they get it.
I am at your beck and call, Captain.
I so appreciate your cooperation.
Sometimes
Mr.
y'all's
Sawyer.
voice is just dripping with something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's there.
I believe it's
there.
sarcasm or insincerity. Are we being subtle? My
Can
apologies.
Dwight make sure we're not being followed by a man on fire, like a spot hidden?
Like you're specifically looking for a man on fire?
Or
I'm looking
anyone.
or anyone, yeah.
That man.
That was more of a joke.
I will let you know this, that there is a flat rooftop 1 floor up should you wish to perch on that, but that would give you the best view of the surrounding area.
I would probably suggest that to Kate real quick, that you want me to go up and check the area, and we'll look around and make sure that everything looks good, and then I will come join you.
Mr. Burke, that is a fantastic idea. Thank you so much for thinking about it. And as he heads off, she said, "Oh, Mr. Burke, one last thing.
What's that, ma'am?
That little stunt you and Mr. Sawyer pulled in Bolivia, taking off on your own like a couple of petulant children, leaving the rest of us behind, that kind of behavior ends now. As a military man, I expect you to know better. Is that clear?"
Dwight kind of opened this, like I said, he's still smoking his cigarette. Fair enough, Miss O'Callahan, fair enough.
Thank you, sir. Let us know if you see anything.
Dwight, you are playing spotter, not sniper. Don't start shooting without letting the rest of us know what's going on.
If they're just looking for you, I just may let them take you.
Mr. Burke.
If it means less shooting, then by all means.
Divide, shoot what you think is necessary. Is my
All right, come on now. We don't need to be shooting everything.
Dwight just got it. He's already over all that.
Okay, so right now let's reestablish the theater of the mind. Currently in apartment 3B, which is the Foster's apartment, we have Dr. Greta von Krause and we have Sabella Ives, who are conducting their various forms of medicine cabinet and toy handling research. And then we have Kate, who is going across the hall to 3A to see one Syl Jefferson. And we also have the backup in Elijah Sawyer, and we have the spotter, not the sniper, in Dwight Burke heading towards the flat roof one level up. Let's start with Kate.
All right. And you said that Syl was being questioned by one of Jack's men.
Yeah, and it looks like it's just stopped, and the man kind of turns away, and as he sees you coming in, he kind of, nods and walks off.
All right. Has Syl seen that I'm there?
Mm-hmm. She has that look of admiration and fame worship that's tempered a bit because she's spoken to you, and now it's just respect because it's been replaced with a level of, when they say you never meet your heroes. Well, she did, and it surpassed what she thought. So that's the look she's getting.
Aw. Kate sort of waves. Hello there, Miss Jefferson. How are you?
I'm doing well, Miss O'Callahan. How are you?
I'm doing fine, I suppose. I hope that that these folks have treated you well.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine. Whatever I can do to help. I'm afraid I don't know much. The Fosters, we were very close, but they didn't tell me much about them leaving.
Can you tell me more about the Fosters? You've probably figured out we're trying to secure their whereabouts. They may be in some great danger. I'm particularly concerned about young Ruby. What can you tell me about them?
Well, I told the gentleman everything that I know, that the Reverend Foster, he works at the church just right down the street. And as far as I know, with Christmas time and Easter, they never went anywhere and they never had anyone come over. So I'm not sure that they ever had a family or anybody in the States even. I did hear the Reverend speak of a sister once, but to be honest, I'm not sure if she's still with us or not. But I never saw her. I told everything to him though.
Did they pack up suitcases or anything like that before they left? Did you notice?
I tried not to. I saw, yes, that they did have. Ruby seemed to be upset. She had a couple of her toys, but I think I heard her going on about not being able to take all of them. They did seem to be packed for a trip, though.
Did they have an automobile of their own? Do you know?
Not that I've never known them to own a car or anything. They would take the bus. I know the Reverend would walk to the church, but Ruby and Evelyn, they would walk around. But perhaps the bus. Perhaps I didn't see them once they left, though.
And Evelyn, that's Mrs. Foster.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss O'Callahan.
All right. Did you notice anything else unusual in the days that kind of led up to this, to today? Anything else unusual around the building or among your neighbors or with the Fosters themselves?
Well, not really, but I thought that, to be honest, I was a bit concerned because I thought that, well, the gentleman that I spoke to, he was here a few days ago, and he said that you all were going to be watching the Fosters and making sure that they were okay, but I didn't really understand why. And then when the Fosters left, I was a little concerned. I'd never been approached by any of these men except the one I just spoke to, and he never seemed to have any interest in anything else, any bit of the Fosters other than that they were going to be watching them. It just that seemed odd to me, and the rest of it's just life, I guess.
Kate looks over her shoulder. Is that company man still around?
Nope.
And back then to Sil. Sil, all right then. Are you? Will you be here? You be in your apartment for a while in case I have any other questions?
I will. I'll be Claire. That was the name of the Reverend Sister, Claire. Claire Foster. That's it.
You have an amazing memory, Miss Jefferson.
It's filled up. And you remember the stacks of aeronautics books that you saw in her apartment. It's just filled with odds and ends, things that can't help me much.
I'm sure it is filled with much more than that. Uh, I'll be back. I'll be back sometime soon, and we can talk about this, and maybe there's some other things we could chat about.
I would love it, Miss O'Callahan. If I think of anything, I will. That gentleman gave me a phone to call. I will make sure that I call it and let you all know.
He gave you a phone number.
Yes, ma'am. Right here on this card.
May I see that for a moment, please?
Of course, yes. And she hands it to you.
And-
It's a just a regular. It's like a blank business card, and it has business card sized, and it has a phone number written. It seems to be a community line, one of the like a prefix with a rotary party line type of thing, but it seems to be a direct line to somewhere.
Kate jots it down quickly in her notebook and hands it back. Miss Jefferson, thank you so much. I'll look forward to our next conversation.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And she just kind of lingers as she just stands in her doorway as everything's happening. You can imagine that this is probably the most excitement that Syl Jefferson has seen in quite some time, if ever.
And at this point, I'm going to go off looking for that one of Jack's men who has conveniently disappeared. At least head down the hallway where he seemed to be going and see if I can find him.
Sure thing. Let's cut briefly to the roof where we see the smoking Dwight Burke as he is apparently watching the streets of Harlem. Dwight, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for how many people are out on the streets? Is it pretty busy?
Yeah, it's pretty crowded. I mean, at this point, you're looking at this is, when did I say? Whenever you guys got back, we're looking later evening now. So this is, it's crowded because Harlem has quite a nightlife at this point. And one of the best quotes I ever heard was Harlem never experienced the Depression because it was always depressed. And it's as if Harlem is the one bastion of life that's still living in the Manhattan of the Depression. There are still clubs, there's still music being played, there are still people out and about. So yeah, there's a lot of illumination, there's a lot of street lights. You got a pretty good view.
Okay, well, I would definitely look to see who's coming in and out of the building where Kate went, and I would also probably watch Sawyer, just for the simple fact that I know that people are looking for him. I would watch to see if anybody's kind of like tailing behind him or coming out of the building, and just for safety concerns, like that's whoever would be kind of like lingering and watching.
Sure. Okay. So I saw that you rolled a spot hidden. You succeeded, and when you first get up to the roof and you're kind of just going through your angles and everything, you do see a gentleman that you recognize as the one that was interviewing Syl Jefferson when you guys got there pop out and start walking down the street in a southward direction towards 115th Street.
Is he moving fast?
Just seems to be walking. He is not getting in a car, however.
Okay, and I don't see anything else of around Sawyer or anybody like that where he was heading, the general direction that he was heading in.
Well, Sawyer's still downstairs, right? Sawyer
he's still in the building. I got you.
Yeah.
He had already took off. Okay, yep. Well I'll go back down and relay my information to Kate that I don't see anything other than the man walking out. That I don't, that would probably be odd. Maybe if he was Jack's man, probably he would be discussing stuff with us.
Okay, well, what we'll do is for the sake of narrative, you are finishing your observations just as Kate is finishing her discussion with Syl Jefferson. But before you two can reunite, we are going to cut back over to the Foster's apartment where we have Dr. Greta, we have Sabella, and we have Mr. Sawyer deep in investigations and or guarding as the case may be. What would you all like to do?
I'm gonna see what I can see looking around.
Okay, spot hidden.
Okay, I'm standing at the front door guarding, apparently.
Well, you also can use 3 of your luck if you want to make that a success. You are close to.
Nah, I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, the rest.
Just a little girl's life on the line. It's no big deal.
You know.
I'm looking for anything that I can determine is a would have been cherished. Anything like that. Yeah, toys or journals or anything like that.
Okay, I want you to roll 2 things for me. I want you to roll a spot hidden, and I want you to roll a luck roll for me.
Okay.
Dr. Greta, what are you doing at this time?
She is going to be, because you can learn an awful lot by what's in someone's medicine cabinet. So she's going to be looking through the medicine cabinets, like the bedside tables, places out of reach of children, but adults like to put medications and stuff. Maybe any liquor stashes, see if they were heavy drinkers, maybe light drinkers. Look for cigarette packets, see if they were smokers, all that kind of thing.
Great, great. I will tell you this. I need you to roll give me a spot hidden, and
Okay.
this will encompass everything that you're looking for.
Okay. I'm not good at this.
Okay,
Both, sister.
Sabella, you did not find anything initially that seems to be special. However, you have narrowed it down to 3 separate things that you think might have some type of meaning. You see that there is a pocket watch, there is a teddy bear, and there is the family Bible, it appears.
Ooh.
And Greta, as you're searching around, this isn't necessarily very difficult to see, but if there was something, a hidden stash, you haven't been able to find it, but it doesn't appear just from the glassware, maybe, if you're looking through the kitchen, that there is, there are wine drinkers or it doesn't look like, you don't see ashtrays. There's not, and there is a cigarette that is put out in what it looks like a saucer of a child's toy on the kitchen table, but
that's not from the family.
That is right. In
That
fact,
was a Nazi
they
cigarette.
sound like good parents, and good parents don't do that. What about the medicine cabinet?
the medicine cabinet seems to have been swept clean.
Oh, interesting. Now that is interesting. That in itself is an interesting fact.
All right.
And the bedside tables too. Those have been swept clean for anything.
You're not sure what currently, what had been in there to
Okay.
before, but there
But
is
they're not
any medicine.
completely empty. Okay, got it.
Right, yeah, there's still evidence of life inside those.
Okay.
They have not been, scoured.
Interesting.
I will lay those 3 objects. Is there a bed in the room, or is it somewhere else, or is there a couch or something?
There is a couch that has recently had the cushions put back on it. So you may definitely do that. Apparently, some of Jack's men had taken care of that.
Sure they have. Yeah, I Mr. Sawyer,
Yes.
you're a sneaky man. Can you come over here for a second?
Well, I don't appreciate what you are insinuating.
Why
but he
not?
comes over just the same,
It was
with
a
a
compliment.
big smile on his face.
Oh, good. You're smiling again. That's not disconcerting. Can you help me look through these things? I'm wondering, before I do any further investigation of them, I'm wondering if anything is hidden. We've got a book. Maybe there's some notes or something in it from the Reverend, a pocket watch, and a teddy bear. I just want to do, normal investigation of things before doing anything else.
Yes. I will take the Bible. You should probably start on the pocket watch and see if you can't pry something open.
Mm-hmm. All right.
The teddy bear would have sentimental value. I don't know if that's something you're interested in, but we should probably refrain from tearing that to pieces.
Well, sure. That's a great idea. All right. You look through the Bible. Yeah, and I will. I'll flick open the pocket watch with my gloves still on.
Yeah, and Elijah's gonna see if the Bible was given to someone, if there's anything written anywhere.
Sure. Roll me a spot hidden with advantage, since that's what you're looking for specifically. And
Yes.
We got an
ooh.
extreme 7.
Okay, we'll come right back to you. The pocket watch opens up, and I will let you know this: there isn't an inscription on it. It appears to have been something that was bought off the street. It is not very well made. In fact, the more you look at it, the more you think this may have actually been one of Ruby's toys, as it appears to be more of a prop than anything else, not something that perhaps, Evelyn or Reverend Foster actually used.
Does it look more between that and the teddy bear? Does one look like it's seen more use than the other?
The watch.
Huh. That's
The watch.
weird.
The watch seems
Cool.
very worn. The teddy bear seems very new.
I mean, I don't do that. I just put it to the
The
side.
hell with you, Teddy Ruxpin.
That's
Get the-
interesting. I like this girl.
Okay, going back to Mr. Elijah Sawyer, as you are looking through and your expert eagle eyes as you're going through this, you notice that written in the front of the Bible, it says, "To my big brother from Claire." And as you are continuing to look through the Bible, towards the end, a small kind of like a half-torn piece of paper kind of floats out, and you recognize it as being a symbol of a missionary group. And that's about all you can get. With an extreme, I gave you the actual knowledge associated with the scrap of paper as well.
Who is Claire? I'm not up to date on names.
And with that, what I think we will do is Kate and Dwight, you guys meet outside in the hall as all of this kind of happens at once.
Nothing
Anything?
out of the ordinary, Mr. O'Callahan, except for the gentleman that you were discussing walked out and left south.
He left. He got into one of the cars, right?
No, he went down the street. Did he say anything to you?
Mr. Burke, I think we need to find that man. Let's go.
I'm with you.
And Kate takes off at a jog down the hallway and down the stairs.
Okay, I'm assuming Dwight's going with her?
Of course. Miss Callahan, you are packing, correct?
Thank you for reminding me, Mr. Burke. That's a good idea. I am, as a matter of fact. I've got my little friend from Bolivia, in fact.
Dwight probably still would have both his guns in the bag, but he would definitely have the 45 though by the shoulder.
Okay, the 45's in. You've got your bag, but of course the Grand would be broken down because you can't walk around with it.
It's pretty much out of commission.
Okay, but you've got the grease gun, the broken down Grand, and your 1911 on your person, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys are able to get down to the bottom of the street, and while I cut back to everybody else, I'd like you both to roll spot hiddens for me. You do get advantage because he saw which way they were going. So let me know who gets the lowest score or the best score, please.
Don't need it.
Yeah, you've got the hard. I had a
Yeah.
success, and you've got a hard success.
19.
Okay, so you guys spill out onto the street, and as you kind of spill out in the evening of Harlem on 116th Street, you turn, you look to the south, and just when Dwight's head turns to the south, he sees the hat and the coat of the man take a corner and head to the right, about 2 blocks down the street.
Oh, you're on mute, Steve.
Oh, sorry. Two blocks down to the right, Kate.
And Kate's off at a sprint, and her hand, which has been kind of down in her satchel, comes out with the with the serpent gun ready to go, and she's sprinting after.
Dwight's trying to keep up with her.
Okay, you two roll me dex checks, and Strider, give me a listen check for Elijah, please.
Hard success on the dex roll.
I fail.
Ooh.
Elijah is not much of a listener. He fails very hard.
Go figure.
I love it. I love that he's got a 26 in listen. Yeah.
He talks. He does not listen.
Yeah, he's got 100 in talking. Right. Okay, so you did not hear the exchange that happened right outside in the hall that led to the two of them going out. For purposes of narration, Kate sprints forward. Anybody that has watched the bonus episode knows how fast Kate O'Callahan is, both in the air and on the ground. And she is sprinting through the light crowd of Harlem as she begins to close in on the person ahead. Dwight, you
It would
fall
make
back.
sense. Yeah, it would make sense. I couldn't keep up with her.
Okay. You all, when it finally comes around, Syl is still standing in the doorway, Strider, whenever Elijah turns to look outside. And she's kind of looking down the steps and meets your gaze whenever you come out of the Foster's apartment as you guys kind of awkwardly look at one another. Hello, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Did you see where Captain Miss O'Callahan disappeared off to?
You see a flutter of absolutely uncloaked pride go across her features as she thinks of not only a famous person being in charge of this group, but a woman being in charge of this group. And she looks and she goes, Miss O'Callahan went downstairs. She and the other gentleman went down the stairs.
Elijah sticks his head back into the apartment and just... our captain has abandoned ship. I elect Dr. Greta as our second in command.
Seconded.
Oh dear. Well, we are America. I suppose things are done democratically. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I can give you a spiky little hat if you prefer.
No. This is fine.
Mr. Sawyer, did you find anything in that Bible before I get to it, as it were?
Yes. This was a gift to an older brother from one Claire. Who is Claire? I was not paying attention.
I'm not sure, but it sounds like a sister, if I would put those, clues together.
Now, you said it was written to who? It was to an older brother?
Older brother from Claire, I believe.
Well, I would assume that is an aunt of the woman we are seeking, perhaps?
Sure,
Or
all
perhaps
this
even
makes sense.
a family heirloom from further back, depending on the date of print in the Bible.
He's also going to show them a little piece of paper. Just, this mean anything to either y'all?
Both of you roll intelligence checks for me, please.
Okay. Hard success.
Nice.
And should also be like, any medical equipment and supplies here have been confiscated, which I find very interesting.
Sabella, with that hard success, being a book-learned person as you are, you recognize the symbol that Elijah is showing you as being a symbol for a missionary group, a Christian missionary group that works in various regions throughout the world.
It wouldn't be caduceus, would it?
It might.
Because we were at a camp there that they had it, so...
That's true. Here's a question. When I found the Bible, was it still kind of scattered on the floor, or had it been picked up and put in place somewhere?
Roll me another intelligence check to see if you can remember. You've looked at quite a few things here. No, you can't really remember. You've gone through a bunch of stuff here.
I'm trying to look in my notes if I still have an advantage, but I don't. That's too far back. Whatever. Okay. All right. But the couch cushions have been put back.
Yes, the couch cushions were put back. You presume that the friendly agent from Jack that was here questioning Syl started to clean up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Great. Super.
Is that lady still out in the hallway? The landlady or whoever that was?
The neighbor, yeah. Syl Jefferson is still kind of staring in. Yeah.
Elijah will show her the symbol. Just, you know any churches or anything around here like that has this little symbol on it?
I've never seen that symbol before. No, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That answers many questions.
I don't see how it could, but okay.
Alrighty. Last thing I want to do is a psychometry reading on the pocket watch.
Okay. Give me a reading, and I will roll for no particular reason.
Oh, sure.
Jesus, Greg.
What?
Oh, suck.
Oh,
I love it. I couldn't love it anymore. Okay, so all right, so as you're like reaching into this pocket watch, for the first time you feel as if something has been, it's almost like somebody had dripped turpentine on a painting, as if something was trying to obscure the reading that you normally would get. Like there's a glaze over it, or some type of like a sealant of some type, but you're able to find a seam or crack in this seal, and you're able to use your mind to kind of pry into it in ways that you've never done before. But it seems second nature. It's almost as if your powers are evolving and growing with you as the more you use them in the varied ways that you use them now. And even though you're still covered in that flop sweat and still, the chills and everything that kind of encompass your form, but you're able to peer in there, and you don't think anything's going to work for a second, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're not looking at the room anymore as it is. You're looking at the room as perhaps it was, and you see everything perfectly arranged. All the books are on the shelf. Everything is completely as it was, and a little girl is sitting in the middle of the room surrounded by various dolls, and there appears to be, like a stuffed tiger that's sitting there beside her. And there's teacups with saucers, one of which now carries a butt of a German cigarette, that are spread out in front. And you see the little girl as she's looking around, and she pops open the pocket watch and she goes, "Well, it is tea time, everyone. It's tea time. Come on, come on." And as the creatures around her fail to move, she begins to pour the tea out across everyone. And at this point, an older woman comes in. You don't know exactly, you've never seen her before, but you know that this is the girl's mother. And you can see that there is a tiredness to her, bags under her eyes. She's very stressed. She's very haggard. She's extremely thin, and she sits down and smiles weakly as she kind of has a saucer of tea pushed over towards her. And as she goes to get it, the little girl reaches down and touches her hand, and you see a bleed of golden light come from 5 fingertips into the hand of the older woman, and you see the bags kind of lessen, and the kind of the slacking skin kind of tighten a bit as she closes her eyes and lets out a breath, and she opens them again and looks down, and you see her cup the little girl's face in her hands, and she goes, "My little angel." And you're back in the apartment as it is.
So at this point, while that's been happening, Sabella has, I guess what the other two would see is it's starting off very much focused, and then when it works, it's very much turns into like a caress on the cheek of the pocket watch, which might be a little weird. But she takes out, as she finishes, she takes out a fan from her handbag. Well, Jack, Jack was right about her. Wow. We should. Did anyone recognize that symbol? I think we should start moving. We do not want to let anyone else get a hold of this girl.
Does Greta recognize? I never rolled an intelligence check. I didn't know if you were talking to me or just those two. Would Greta recognize that symbol?
And you can roll it with advantage because you were in their camp.
An intelligence check?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's a hard success.
You recognize it as one of the expeditionary symbols used by Caduceus whenever they're working on foreign soil. Caduceus works in domestic United States aid and also in foreign aid, and you notice that the symbol is the one that they use for foreign excursions. You also know that they use different symbols for different parts of the world. This is not technically the one that you saw for South America, but it's very similar. But it appears to be a variation of the Caduceus symbol.
Yeah, she would relay that. Exactly what you just said.
So,
okay, while you guys are doing all this, we're going to cut away because we have a sprint taking place. And I wanted to get through. Okay, so as you guys are running, Dwight, you see Kate kind of pulling out in front of you as you're carrying a duffel bag with 2 guns. And you know right away that even if you were naked with a pair of athletic shoes on, she's still going to beat you. She's absolutely hauling ass down here. And as you watch her dip, she cuts around the corner. And let's flash to Kate. Kate, as you come around the corner, about another block down the street, you see the man talking with somebody in an old Ford. He's kind of leaning up against the window talking in as you come around the corner. And I'm going to see if he sees you skid around the corner. He does not look up as you see him start to light a cigarette as he's sitting there casually talking to somebody in a car.
What's the distance between me and him and the car?
About 75 feet.
Kate continues to run until the point at which I feel as though that would potentially attract attention. And then she slows to a walk. How much traffic in terms of pedestrian traffic is there on the sidewalk? There are a lot of other people around at this point?
About 10, maybe 10 on this side street between you and the person, but you're kind of losing people as you pass them and as they kind of move out of the way. So the closer you get, the less there are between the two of you.
Okay, but there's enough that there's people walking by in both directions on the sidewalk and so forth.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so Kate she's slowed to a walk at this point, and she just sort of continues to walk past the person, the guy, and looking as she goes, and not really trying to hide the fact that she's looking. I don't want to look out of the corner of my eye and take disadvantage on a spot roll or anything like that, but not to meta this or anything. I would never do that.
Sure. Okay.
So she, a little bit slower than the rest of the pedestrian traffic. I just want to get an idea of what of what might be going on here.
Okay, as you walk by, I'll let you roll a spot hidden to see if you can, not side eye, but you can see what you can glean from this. At this point, Dwight skids around the corner as he's chasing after, not knowing exactly what's going on. And as Dwight skids around the corner, the man looks up and looks down as the cigarette kind of dangles from his lip for a second as he sees Dwight Burke skid around the corner. And for a moment, Dwight, you and the guy make eye contact and you see his expression drop. And you've been in enough gunfights to know when someone's reaching for a piece. And the next thing you see is the guy reach in for a gun.
I'll go for it too.
Okay, as the two of you bear down on 115th Street in Harlem.
This is 45.
Okay. What I want you guys to do is wait for a second while we cut back to everybody that's in the apartment building. When you are standing there, you guys have engaged Syl Jefferson to the point now where she's come over to the door frame, and she goes, "Is there any other way I can help you all?" And she looks directly at Sabella and she goes, Ma'am, can I get you a glass of water or?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm just not. It's a lot, it's a different kind of heat up here in New York. It's a dry heat, so I'm just getting used to it.
I've
I
never
mean,
heard that, but okay.
yeah. Uh, Ma'am, I'm friends with Miss O'Callahan.
I saw you here the
Who's
other day, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Did she say where she was going by any chance? Because it seems strange that she just left us
She
here.
didn't. I gave her this phone number and she left.
What phone number? With as I reach forward with my bare hands.
She hands you the phone number. This one. Are you doing something
Yes,
to?
Greg, I am.
Well, roll a psychometry check, damn it.
Fine. You make me, I will. Normal, very, very normal success.
Get
Okay.
some.
You see the gentleman that you didn't really capture his features when
Yeah.
he came up, but now you recall this is the gentleman. You see him handing the card to Syl. You also see his recent past as he is flying in the Graf Zeppelin. You also see him talking to somebody that looks an awful lot like Joseph Dietrich.
I hate that guy.
You see him talking with and perhaps doing a little bit more with a blonde German that is now currently being held in the Caduceus
Yep.
HQ in the Meadham building downtown. This gentleman appears to be very much Nazi. So you have his card and the phone number.
I turn to the others in a very dramatic fashion. We
Then
have to go.
And at this point, what you guys see is between Strider, Elijah, and Greta. Greta, you see she is sweating profusely. Like this is like the second reading she's done in a span of 10 minutes. I mean, this is like, does anybody have orange slices time?
Fraulein Ives, perhaps you should have a seat. You do not look
No,
well.
I don't want to sit. I want to get my hands on some Nazis.
Perhaps
And the one he was here. We gotta just hands like strangle hands, not other hands, Dr. Von Kraus. We gotta go after Kate right now. I cannot stop. I cannot breathe. I'm
do
talking.
you need some morphine? Perhaps
Please.
then?
What is that? I mean, I know what it is, but
If you seem to be a bit agitated, it should help calm you down.
I'm not agitated. I feel great. I can smell him. Let's go. Let's go right now.
You worry me, Fraulein Ives.
Thank you.
Okay.
I slip on my hand and I grab her. Mr. Sawyer, we gotta go.
Let's please. I'm following.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Ugh.
Still running. And
Yeah, like as you like quickly grab towards her, she probably like actually like
Oh.
knee-jerk flinch reaction.
I'm so sorry. I'm very
Ugh.
touchy. I apologize. It won't
I've
happen.
noticed it's let's last one's game. Should you seem to be agitated? Should she not call that number with any information?
No, you should not, Syl. You should not do it. In fact, if you let me keep this, I know Miss O'Callahan will thank you personally. I guarantee it.
She apparently recognizes the number.
Okay, absolutely. I'll
Sure.
wait for you all. I'll tell only you anything I figure out.
Thank you. Should we call this number? Perhaps investigate things. No, let's go. Okay.
We'll
Okay,
call
so-
it as soon as we can.
So you guys are heading down the steps, correct?
They are like the bottom of the steps by the time Elijah gets to the first step.
You
You
know,
just kinda
Greta's
turn-
she's following, but she's not like, she's probably just like, thank you, Madam Neighbor. You've been very helpful. We will be in touch. And Herr Sawyer, perhaps we should chrysanthemum. We should go.
Elijah just kind of rolls his eyes and motions towards Sibel and just
She's. I do not
government
think we should
types.
leave her alone.
Okay, so as
She
you
might
guys
pass
are
out.
We appreciate your cooperation.
Sabella, as you're running down the steps, you know this is an old building, but it's got everything about the 1930s is large and ornate, and we've got oak staircases and handrails, and it's a beautiful building. And as you're going down through the large stairwell, you get down and you burst out into the street, and as Greta and Strider have said, they're still at the top talking with Syl. And as you burst out, there is a very handsome, taller gentleman, youngish with slick back black hair, as he's standing there and he opens the door for you as you go by. And he says, "Oh, right this way, right this way. You got
I would like to distance myself as much as possible from the sword. I'm kidding. No. So bad.
And he lets you out onto the street and closes the door to the apartment building behind you. And there is a smell of smoke and heated metal as the handle melts in his hand and the door seals shut behind him. And just as Elijah and Greta walk out onto the third floor, walk up, standing in the middle and looking up at them, Elijah, you see one Phil Castillo as he says, "Well then, my friend, you're a hard man to find." And let's cut back to the gunfight that we have.
This is incredible.
That we have going on over on 115th Street of Harlem in 1933, the year of our Lord. As this is going on, we have two people going for their guns. Kate, I want you to roll a dex to see just how quickly you can intervene in all this if you wish, but there is going to be an exchange before you get a chance to do anything. Dwight.
Quick question. Do I feel like I can surmise? Do I feel like he's going to have a jump on me where I should dodge back behind the wall, or do I think I can outdraw him?
This is high noon shit right here, my friend. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. You are on equal footing, and you are staring down this guy, and you are both pulling at the same time.
Success. 49.
Right. Let's see what we got.
Damn it.
Roll some damage for me, my friend, as you two exchange shots in the middle of the street.
Where's the damage at?
Oh, wait, you got 11. You got an 11. Okay, the two of you shoot, and Kate, what did you roll a dex for me? Yeah,
I did. I've got a success, just a regular success.
Yeah, it wasn't, you needed something a little bit more to involve yourself in this first round.
All right.
You see two shots go off, and you see Dwight take a shot in his side for 10 points as he gets hit and grabs the side, and you see the other guy take a round right in the chest. I mean, directly piercing center mass as the sniper, who is very, very handy with a handgun, also is able to get the shot off. But roll a constitution check for me, Dwight, to see if you can keep your feet.
Come on.
Yep, success.
Okay, you stumble over, and at this point, people were screaming and leaving the street as you stumble over, grabbing your side, land up against the side. And for the people at home, Dwight, what is your current hit point level?
19.
Okay, so you get hit and bunch up against the side as blood begins to pour from just above your right hip, as you feel that it took a chunk of meat out of you, and probably you lucked out in that it didn't clip any bone. But it's a nice hit that Dr. Von Krause is going to have fun with later. As the two of you are looking, the second round begins. This gentleman is mortally wounded, but apparently fighting. And you see two people explode out of the car that he was talking in. And the one rounds up and is apparently holding what looks like some form of drummed machine gun.
Interesting. So two people out of the car on both sides?
Passenger side, rear, and driver's side.
Okay.
The guy that was shot was looking in the passenger side front. So the passenger side rear of the four-door opens up. A person jumps out with a handgun. The driver jumps out and pulls up what looks like a drummed machine gun. I'll let you know that it is a Tommy gun.
So they both jumped out of the car.
They both jumped out of the car.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got them right where I want them. Beautiful. All right. So is it my turn?
It
Mr.
is your turn.
Sir?
Yep, your turn, and then everybody will figure out where everybody's going to go. But you're kind of in between turns here because you got to see it and react, so you get like a sneak attack on them.
Okay. So I'm Kate. kind of levels the serpent gun at the gentleman with the machine gun. I'm going to take as many shots on that fella as I can take.
Okay, go right ahead.
And I've got a crit success.
Yeah, I was just going to remind you, but I decided not to. But go ahead.
You know, that's really funny, Greg, because usually you remind us of those things.
I do usually.
I feel as though something has changed between us.
I feel a distance.
I think he's scared.
I'm always
if you're
scared.
Say you're scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
All right. Can I, have things changed to the point that I can at least take a shot or two before I decide if I want to use the crit?
Oh, yeah. If you want to go ahead and you got 3 shots. You're within range. You can fan the snake hammer if you'd like.
Yeah.
And fan the snake tail. Go right ahead.
All right. Let's do that.
So if you want to use the crit, though, I will let you know that you have to use it, by the 3rd shot. You can't go cycle through all 3 shots and then say you want to use a crit.
Got it. Okay.
That's
So
how
I'm
we're
going to
playing this.
I'll take the first 2 and then we'll see how it goes. Extreme success. And a fail on the second one.
Okay. So with an extreme success, that's as good as a crit. You do have one more shot that could be leveled at either of the 2 guys. Would you like me to tell you what happens to Tommy Gun Boy before I...
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, Tommy Boy had a grimace on his face as he came out and leveled the Tommy gun in Dwight's direction, ready to rip him. But that grimace on his face disappeared because he no longer has a face, as the green blast of snake-driven magic energy erases everything from the neck up on this gentleman as he just slumps headless and not bleeding because the wound appears to be cauterized to the ground as the Tommy gun clatters across the street of 115th Street on Harlem. You have one more shot. What would you like to do, Miss O'Callahan?
I would like to I'm going to take the other shot at the driver. And what's that?
The driver's gone. This would be the rear
gone?
passenger. Yeah, the one is mortally
that
wounded. Yeah, that was the driver with the Tommy gun. And then you have the rear passenger is the one with the handgun.
Yeah. So we'll I'll take my last shot at him, and I'll take the crit on this shot.
Okay, so let's switch to Dwight's point of view then for this one, because you saw 3 people that were armed, and even with Dwight's abilities, it was, you're reminded of a passage in the Bible at this time. There is a season, and this might have been the fall. This might have been the winter of Dwight Burke. Had it not been for the arrival of Cato Callahan and a snake-driven weapon of vengeance, as first the Tommy gun wielder vaporized, and the rear passenger stared down for a moment at a completely open hole in his chest, about 3 inches wide, that wasn't bleeding, and for a moment he could actually see the man that had been originally shot by Dwight slump through him as he's looking back through himself, as he slowly drops to the ground, his gun clattering. The other man clatters and sits down on the running board as he looks up at Kate and Dwight, his blood pouring out of this chest wound, and you see him reach into his pocket and pull something out and put it into his mouth. Let's cut back to everybody in the hotel or the apartment building.
No, it's not.
No, let's cut back to Sabella. Sabella. You run out and you're not sure which direction to go. You don't know where anybody went. You're just jazzed and you can smell him and you're pretty sure that you're going in the right direction as you head off. Roll a lucky roll for me, please.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, it's a fail.
You're like, north. It's got to be north.
Gotta be north.
As you take off and you get to 117th Street, as you're standing there looking around and looking at everybody, a phone box on the corner rings. Ring, 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 ring.
That's creepy.
Let's cut back to inside. Let's cut back to inside the apartment building as Greta and Elijah are staring down at
Nice.
the very handsome Phil Castillo.
Elijah's head is over in Greta's ear just momentarily. Do everything I say or we're going to die. That is Mr. Lect to you, Mr. Castillo.
Mr. Lecht, why you been running from me, Mr. Lecht? You know that we're friends. Aren't we friends, Mr. Lecht?
He walks forward down the steps a little bit with his always leather-clad, gloved hand outstretched to shake this gentleman's hand. Of course we are. I don't recall having seen you recently.
He takes the hand and you feel it getting very warm beneath your glove. Not to the point where it burns, but as a reminder that he is very aware that you know what he is.
Can
And
Elijah put two and two together and understand that this is the guy that...
Yeah. You don't need
There's
to...
a very huge, very genuine grin across Elijah's face as he finally puts a face to the burning silhouette that's been following him. And what can I do for you?
The family
must-
needs you. Your expertise.
More and more people need my expertise nowadays, it seems. U.S. government, the German government. He kind of nods to the woman.
I see that. I saw her. Chased her. Hell of a driver.
Yeah, she'll just nod. It's Autobahn is excellent practice.
I found your car, too, by the way. I think they drug it somewhere over in Staten Island. I don't know. I wasn't going to do anything about it.
You are very eager, sir. I'm assuming this is a important situation. Important enough to bug me while I'm doing something of this gravity.
What do you mean bugging? Haven't we done favors for you before, Mr. Lect? Aren't we friends? Aren't we friends sitting here? Friends on this lovely 116th Street in Harlem that you make me run here, down the Battery Park, all over the goddamn place. Friends don't make friends travel this godforsaken country down to Louisiana with bugs the size of my goddamn fists. You know, good thing they usually can't get too close to me.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter, Mr. Castillo. Okay, if you are that determined, I suppose I will help you out for old time's sake.
I tell you what, you after the little black girl here in the building?
Yeah, he turns to Greta. We are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
just what my
yes.
instructions are?
I suppose we are.
I tell you what. You can help us out. Maybe I'm feeling maybe I'm feeling like a better person today. I tell you what. She's in Borneo. Some mission. You might want to find her though. This one's friends, and he motions over to Greta. They already flew out this morning. Remember, nobody leaves this town or comes into this town without us knowing about it.
You are as well informed as ever.
Don't fuck around with me again, Mr. Lecht. When you get back here to New York City, you've got something you gotta do for me. Do you understand? And none of this bullshit where I gotta chase you down or chase these assholes down. I ain't doing it no more. You're gonna come to me. Do you understand that? You come to my uncle's cafe in Brooklyn. You know that. You call, you set up a time, you do it like a made person. You don't make me run around here like some goddamn mook. You understand?
I am glad to see nothing has changed between us, Mr. Castile. Certainly, you know I am a man of my word, and I will see you first thing as soon as possible.
Good. Don't make me burn down a goddamn bookstore. And he walks out, and you see the door smoke for a second and open. Let's cut back to Kate and Dwight. Kate, you see the man put something into his mouth.
Kate jumps for him just as fast as she can to try to get whatever it is out of his mouth before he can bite it or swallow it. Or
Roll a dex check for me.
hard success.
That'll do. You're able to grab and squeeze his throat, and as you see him start to bite down, you actually put your own, one of the snake tails into his mouth as he bites down, and you hear one of his back molars crack as the snake tail like acts as like a horse bit almost to keep him from, and he startles for a second, and you see a pill drop out onto the ground. As he's standing there, he is in a very bad way and needs immediate medical attention, but he's not going to die from whatever that capsule was, but he might very well die. Mr. Burke, you are able to stumble your way forward as you yourself are profusely bleeding and in need of medical attention as well. I will give you and Kate a moment to speak.
Holy shit, Kate. What? Search him, leave him. We got to get out of here.
Mr. Burke, are you all right? Are you going to be all right?
We'll see. This is not the first time this has happened to me.
Well, we need to get you back to the good doctor, I think. And what's my estimation that our prisoner here is going to make it back to the doctor as well before he expires?
Rough guess, 3 to 5 minutes.
All right.
Hey, we're at the foot of the stairs.
Exactly. Yeah. Mr. Burke, can you move on your own?
I do believe I can. Is that correct, Keeper?
Yes, you can.
All right. Let's head back to the apartment building. And she drags up the Nazi by under his armpit if she can. She says, "Now, listen, we got a doctor right around the corner. I'm not sure I got a dentist for you though. That'll have to wait." But
Real quick, Mr. Callahan, before we do all that, Dwight grabs the Tommy gun.
that's a
Right.
good idea.
So, already weighed down by a grease gun, a Grand, a 1911, the Tommy gun is added to with the bullet wound.
Do you want me to make a strap
Fuck
check?
that. No. Because
Scrappy
you're
young man.
Listen, man, we cast Clint Eastwood as Dwight Burke for a fucking reason. And here we go.
Oh, I've been wanting a Tommy gun.
Right. Well, you got one. You got a Tommy gun. As you walk off with the Tommy gun and you guys are pulling this gentleman behind you, at this point, 115th through about 117th Street is a state of craziness as people are running and heading for the hills. There's a distant wail of police sirens as Cato Callahan is dragging the body of this Nazi up the street from beneath the armpit. I'm going to allow this and we're going to resolve this next week, but you do get to Greta in time. She gets to roll one first aid roll, and this is going to need to be a hard or an extreme.
Come
for
on,
her
Greta,
to
come
save
on.
this
I
person.
need your German doctor experience here, Doc.
I'm gonna use my advantage from a couple weeks ago
Okay.
to
So you get
help.
2 rolls here to get a harder extreme.
Okay, first aid.
First aid or medicine if you can use either.
I have both. First aid, we'll just do first aid because it is immediate. I'm gonna luck that first one. I'm gonna spend the 1 luck.
Okay, you spend the 1 luck and you're able to reach in and basically pinch off the main artery that's bleeding out.
And
As
I
you
will
are-
greet him in German. I'll be like, "Oh, guten Tag, bad day."
Yes, the response is not nice as he drops off into unconsciousness, but he is still alive.
Can Dwight say, "Fuck that guy"?
She's gonna be like, schlafen Sie gut.
Yes, you can scream "fuck that guy" as he drops off into unconsciousness. So at this point, we've got Elijah, Dr. Greta, Kate, and Sabella that are, or excuse me, I jumped the gun there a bit, didn't I? Greta, Kate, Elijah, and Dwight that are all together with the captured former Jackman, who has two friends that are getting colder and not older, just up on 115th Street. But on 117th Street, there's a phone ringing.
Is anyone, near the phone booth waiting for a telephone call, Greg?
No, there's people running because there appears to be a goddamn war going on about 2 blocks down.
Oh, maybe that's the way I should have gone. I approached the phone booth. Because who am I?
As it opens.
Uh-huh. With my gloves.
Hello, Miss Ives. And that is where we will end this week of Pulp Cthulhu. Ladies and gentlemen, Pulp Cthulhu, everybody.
Yay!
We're back. We are back in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a super blast this week, not knowing what you guys were going to do and being able to work in. I've been dying to get Strider's backstory worked in this with Elijah, and Phil Castillo has been on my back burner for quite some time, and getting him into play last night and today was great, and the other elements that you guys brought in was fantastic. I couldn't have scripted this one better. I liked it very, very much. But anyway, let's go over to everybody. Let's start, as we always do, with our Princess of the Skies, America's flying sweetheart. Allison, you made it through another night in 1933.
Oh God, amazing. I love this. Can we just move to 1933,
right,
guys? Because that's pretty much all I want from life right now. Yeah, lesson learned. Leadership is hard. I should have maybe assigned somebody to be in charge before I went running off, but that would not have been very Cato Callahan-like, would it? So
yeah, there was a small election held.
Yeah. I'm so eager to hear about how all that went down. Y'all, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And there is. There's so much good stuff coming. I can't wait already for next Sunday. Viewers, thanks so much for the crit. Came in handy. Cast, I love you all so much. I'll see you in 5 minutes in secret chat. Greg, you are the best. The best, my friend. Have a great week, everyone.
Well, thank you so much. Miss Sabella Ives.
What?
Lauren.
What do you want?
1933 you've survived another one. You've done it all. You've said it all. You've touched everything in the tri-state area. You're sweating up a storm.
Uh-huh.
How did you like another living night in 1933? Whoops.
I'm feeling so many things right now. Oh, that was just the best. I just had so much fun with all of that. I'm going to be probably rewatching it as soon as we get out of here. I loved Sawyer's Daryl Lex persona. I loved seeing how Greta and Dwight interact now after that. That just everything was super fun. I'm thrilled. I'm just thrilled.
Well, good. That's what we aim for here in Cthulhu, is for everyone to be warm and fuzzy and thrilled at the end of every episode. Mission accomplished. So, somebody that didn't fare quite so well this evening in 1933, but is still very much alive and got to have an actual gunfight on the streets of New York City, a showdown, if you will, between two drawing adversaries. Steve, Dwight Burke, Clint Eastwood and the shit out of 1933. How'd you like it, my friend?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was a great episode. I'm glad that we were all back together. I had an absolute blast. The story is really starting to develop into so many different things, and I have to echo what Sabella said. I love the Mr. Derelict's conversation. I enjoyed that, and I definitely brought a new element to that. I'm happy I got a Thompson. I can't say M28 is. I personally would have. Dwight probably would have personally would have shot the guy that shot him because he's got a big hunk of him out of him, but he understands why we spared him.
Understood. And look at that, the sniper showing restraint. Ladies and gentlemen, growth is possible in this day and age.
Yeah, if it wasn't out in the street, it probably wouldn't have showed.
Okay, so everybody, who are we talking to? Chris Anthem, Elijah Sawyer, Daryl Lecht, whoever it happens to be, Jean Jacket, whoever it happens to be in this day and age, all four of them, or however many goddamn people are between the ears of one Strider Heap. You survived another night in 1933, my friend. What'd you think?
We're back, baby. Oh, yeah, man. I had fun. Sawyer had fun. And, of course, our Derelict had much fun as well. And hopefully I get to do more silly voices as we go ahead. Heating up, and we are back with a vengeance, man. Starting 2018 off right. I am hyped up, and I'm already in next week, man. That's where I'm at.
Nice, my brother. Okay, and finally, last but certainly not least, Laugh Love Lindy, my compadre in all things Cthulhu. Dr. Greta is having one hell of a first trip to New York City. How did she like this night in 1933?
This is not what I was expecting America to be like. Greg, 2 nights in a row of Cthulhu isn't enough. Can we play like every night of the week? Like, please.
I think I'm actually doing that, but yes.
I mean, like us, like just like at least every day. But anyways, yeah, absolutely amazing. Definitely wasn't expecting that little impromptu election. Like Strider's like, I vote for Greta, and Sabella's like, me too, and she's just like, wait, what? That caught me as a player and as a character.
I third that too.
Completely off guard.
That was awesome.
But I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. She was just very surprised, like, okay, well, this maybe, and she hates that Phil guy so much. He charged so many corpses that he. Oh, I don't even have words. Is how
a lot of biomatter lost to the
I feel
ashes.
about him how Sabella feels about Dietrich. Like it's like that level. I hate him so much. But cannot wait for next Sunday. I'm gonna be counting down the hours. Love it. Can't wait for next week. And I will first stage you too, Dwight. Don't worry. We're on first name basis now, Dwight.
Great.
Thank
And
you.
also, everybody that's listening right now, make sure we have several DMs in this space, these wonderful people that you see all around me. Strider is doing his DMing over on Encounter Roleplay. Strider, time and date for the Sands, please. And Lauren, I'm coming to you, and I want to hear from Lindy as well. Tell us about your DM stuff, guys.
Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. EST. I am playing my own homebrew campaign I wrote called Sands of Zahir, where we are traveling off into a magic desert land with flying carpets and a literal deity from, I don't know if anyone played Neverwinter Nights back in the day, but getting some Zahir in here. There. It's everywhere. It's going to be fun.
Fantastic, my brother. Fantastic. Huge props, man. The show is getting a lot of great support, which leads me down to Lauren, who has tomorrow her second episode from 1 to 4 on Encounter Roleplay. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's called The Dark Cold Cases. It's my first time ever DMing on stream, my own homebrew campaign, and I'm really excited to see what happens. All the player characters were stuck to a weird box. They managed to get off it, and then it did some more weird shit, and we're going to see what happens next.
Is it a 5e game or a Cthulhu game?
D&D 5e, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nicey, nicey. And then finally, Lindy, what do you have going on for us, DM-wise?
DM-wise, I am on the Tuesday evenings from 8 p.m. to about midnight EST. I'm running Out of the Abyss. Very extremely heavy role play. Not much combat. I don't think we've had combat in like 4 weeks, but we're currently in the Feywild doing weird stuff because you have to do something between times in the Underdark, right?
Where else to do it in the Feywild? That's the way to do it.
Right? My players hate it so much. It's great.
Everybody follow the links in chat to all their Twitters where you will be made aware of all the great things these great people are doing on a weekly basis. But let's be quite honest. This is where it's at, right? 7 to 9 on Sunday nights. Back in 1933. Kicking ass, taking names.
I have to say yes.
Okay. The Olympians making a name for themselves, popping up on the radar of certain very powerful people who you'll be meeting very soon. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, let's go raid our buddy Grant Ellis. See if I can get this to work, maybe. There we go. Hey, what do you know? I actually made it work. Let's go raid our buddy Grant Ellis because he is the best. He's my tag team D&D RPG partner. We are the current 16-time tag team RPG D&D champions. Currently belt holders for quite some time. But ladies and gentlemen, this is 2018. Deal with it while you can. We'll be here in 1933. Join us soon. Bye-bye.